Hey everyone, how's it going? Shuffle's back here with another video, and today we want to do a quick Rylet showcase. I almost forgot who we were talking about today. I have a really cool RTA for you showcasing him, and then we'll talk a little bit about the end of the RTA season, and then we will show off his gear, and that's going to be it for today. So let's jump over to the highlight clip. Again, as always, it is from stream, so I can't play the actual volume, but I will comment over it. So you can see going into this fight, we are in Legend. We're rank 89. Things are crazy close right now in the top 100. We'll take a look at the standings after this. I actually end up queuing with somebody who I've fought a bunch of times, someone who does hang out in stream. His name is Tenbird. As you can see there, he's currently rank 8 coming into this. But as you can see, the points are all really close. So we go ahead, we pre-ban FCC here. You can tell he's not. Things are getting serious. People are starting to take their time and to make their decisions. And he bans our CDOM. The reason he's banning our CDOM is to stop us from trying to cleave. He wants to play a slower match. He doesn't want it to be a race here. So he goes ahead and also steals my Alencia, who's my normal first pick. You can tell I wasn't really sure what to do here, so I lead off with LQC. LQC, a unit that I've used against him before, actually, in a video that made this channel when I was showcasing LQC. It happened to be against him. But then second pick Litica. Even though he took our CDOM, I decided to do it like this because it kind of lets him know that I'm not cleaving. That way he doesn't try and race me at this point. I'm just bringing a strip. And I'm hoping that he doesn't go and try and make it into a speed race, because I could switch back, but seeing as how he already took CDOM and I have LQC in there, it's not really what I'm looking for. From there, he goes Ruel and Raz, and then I take my Violet. Now my Violet is relatively fast. Like I said, we'll show the gear after. And then I go Spectre. He doesn't have a lot of AoE damage, like he doesn't have SSB or anything, and I need to be able to kill that Alencia if I decide to leave her in. He then goes Cerise, which is really not good for me, because with the team I'm using, I really need first turn. And then he's debating on the Vildred here. I honestly don't remember, but I don't think he goes Vildred here. Oh, he does go Vildred here, okay. And we wrap up with regular Rose. So I just started using regular Rose. I want to save her for the last week of the season. That way not everybody knows what I'm doing coming into this final push. I then go ahead and block the screen here so that in case he's watching stream, he can't see who I'm banning. Because it does kind of make a difference here. Alright, so coming back, and I banned the Vildred. I left the Cerise in, because even if he debuffs me, I'm not overly worried. I should also hopefully get first turn, because he decides to leave in my Litica. So he wins the speed race. You can also see his Raz is crazy fast on the left-hand side there. My Litica is faster, but that's probably like a 240, 250 Raz as well. He goes ahead and does that. Thankfully, he misses on the Violet, and even more importantly, he didn't land on the Rose or on the LQC. He only landed the one debuff there, so we got really lucky there. The only issue here is that when we do our strip, the Litica doesn't get boosted because she has restrict on her, so she won't be able to do her reset here. Now we get to see the Violet damage. Keep in mind, I think there's some damage reduction here. Pretty sure he's got Aureus on Raz. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe it's Adamant. I can't remember. But either way, we get half health into that Alencia for about 13k-ish. Then we use the Rose boost, and we can take the first life of the Alencia here. I was a little torn. I kind of wanted to skill 1. But I really needed the... First of all, I need for her to potentially miss her turn. And I need the Ruel to use her revive. And this also means that he can't get a team up from her here. That could have potentially... If we don't kill her there, then potentially we lose our Lidica there. So here comes the revive. And if we don't lose Lidica, she would be able to finish it off on this turn upcoming anyway. So, and now we're up. Unfortunately, she has invincibility, so we can't hit her here. I'm not sure whether I should use my cleanse here on the restrict. She is almost at full health and she's not slowed, so I just decide to use the skill 1 and we'll save it for the next turn. Here comes the strip from the Alencia. He does strip everything. He doesn't get the Violet, which is nice, because that gives Violet's now up to 3 stacks on his passive, and that'll come into play a little bit later. He goes into the stun here. Unfortunately, we miss our turn on the Lidica, and we still haven't gotten to use our skill prevent. Goes with the Raz into the team up, and that's going to kill our Lidica. And at this point, it looks like we're in big trouble, right? Like, we have no sustain outside the self-healing and the shield from... the self-healing from LQC and the shield from Rose. And he's got the Ruel in there. And we also can't hit their squishiest unit, which is Cerise. So I'm pretty sure at this point, I thought I was dead. We go ahead and hit him again. We are now up to 4 stacks now on the Violet, though. And he decides to go with his skill 3 here. And he misses, which means we're going to get our passive off. Unfortunately, it goes into probably the second tankiest unit on the battlefield, and that's really bad for us. We do get 11k damage, which is nice. But obviously, we're hoping to potentially go into Cerise there and get the kill. Luckily, this Cerise doesn't have Confile, so she's not defense breaking. I'm pretty sure she's on Sachet. Actually, no, she's not on Sachet because she went into stealth. Never mind. Cancel that. He gets the team up here into the Rose again with the Cerise. And now all of a sudden he is back into his skill 3 again on her. This time she does land on everybody. Again, missing the strip on the Violet, though. And, like, we are quite literally almost dead. So we're going to go skill 1 here. We get a huge team up there into the Raz, although he does survive, which sucks. But we have, because the Rose managed to survive, she's able to take out the Raz. And at least we bring it down 3v3. But we have no HP left and no sustain left. This is going to be the end of our Rose. And now with Alencia Ruel versus just LQC and Violet, I think I almost quit here. But he does miss the strip, or sorry, he does miss the stun. He tried to go over the stun into the Violet. That gives us 3 stacks again on the Violet. And we're about to do the skill 1. And the skill 1 is going to give us another stack, which means we're back up to 4 stacks all of a sudden. We land the blind. That means next time he gets hit, he's going to counter again. So he decides to switch over to the LQC and try and kill her. She is slowed and restricted, which means she's crazy slow, because normally... Aw, oh, man. Nice ad. Great ad placement there, Twitch. I appreciate that. And of course, it's non-skippable. Um, but so the restrict on her means normally she boosts her own attack bar every time she gets crit, and then that plus the slow means she's like twice as slow as she normally is, which makes it very hard for LQC to do her job. All right, we're back. Thankfully, we have that blind, although it doesn't do anything, and our LQC just barely survives here. He hits her again. She survives with almost no HP. I'm going to try and catch that HP number for you. He is back to his skill 1, and we have his skill 3 next turn. So he does 5k damage to the Ruel. So Charlotte survived with 526 HP, plus we have enough souls to burn here. We have to kill the Ruel because I did check the skills, and the Ruel had her revive. So we one-shot the Ruel, do a little bit of chip damage, and put up immunity again. That immunity is important. That's why I burned into it. The immunity is huge because that means he can't get defense broken. He does go ahead with the skill 3 into our entire team, which triggers the Violet counter. He counters for 19k into the Alencia, and that's going to be GG. And we get 14 points for a huge win there. So let's block that. You can see now we did finally make it to 3,000 points. We are back live now, by the way. I don't know why you can't see my cursor, mind you, but anyway, we are back on the actual game now. So big win there. Violet did a real number. You can see he's still in the top 10, which is nice. But also we are within striking distance of where we want to be coming into the last week of the season. So for those of you wondering about the last week of the season, it does end on, if you're in North America, it ends on Wednesday. The final time is going to be 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, before at the patch time. So whenever patch goes on Wednesday, that's when RTA will be closing for us. All servers close at the same time, so you'll have to check depending on your server whether you're on maintenance or not. But that's when it's going to be for global. If you take a look here, actually let's go all the way down to rank 100, because 100 people make legend. All right, so rank number 100 is Mevlin. You can see he is only 34 points behind us, and that's 41 ranks. It's ridiculously close right now for everybody. The cutoff is almost at 3,000 points already. And then moving up to like 30th place, like we're only 39 points behind 30th place. And then in terms of the top 10, what are we at here? 88 points? We're 88 points back of the top 10. So it's very tightly packed across the board. There's a couple people up here at the top that have separated themselves a little bit. This guy from Korea and Nom Nom have separated themselves from the field. But beyond that, really, it's going to be a fight to the finish. Let's take a quick look at the rewards before we look at the gear. For those of you who didn't know, of course, the Tenebria skin is out. And if you finish at Master above, you'll get the Tenebria skin. Other people were asking if there's any reason for them to do RTA. Yeah, definitely. So this is it. If you finish your placement battles, you automatically are put in bronze. So even if you lose all 10 placement battles, even if you just go in and exit them automatically just to quickly lose all 10, you will be slotted into bronze, which means you will get the reward of the 1,000 conquest points, even just for finishing with 0 wins and 10 losses on the season. So it's definitely worth going in and doing that. And if you try and manage to get gold, you get 2,000 conquest points. A lot of people actually are intentionally losing from Master just because they want the conquest points and they don't have Spectre Tenebria. Personally, I want the skin. I'm going to try and get it on both accounts. Uh, and then, of course, for people trying to get Legend, everyone's aiming for this cool frame here for obvious reasons. Everyone wants that exclusivity. We will go over a little bit at the end of the season, kind of how everybody finished. But as you can see, currently the top 10 is covered in players from Global. There's one person from Korea server, and the other 9 are from Global. So kind of nice to see our server holding our own here, even though we started after Korea server. Let's jump over into the Violet gear, because I know everybody wants to talk about Violet. Now, I would say he isn't flashy in a lot of ways. Like sometimes he can be, like in that fight at the end, he clutched it out for us. The Cerise went into her skill 3, which he didn't necessarily have to do. He could have skill 1'd the Charlotte and then tried to finish it off with the Alencia, but it was going to be tough either way. Once we were able to one-shot the Ruel, it kind of put us back in business there. So he's not overly flashy unless he happens to get his counter off, but he just does his job. He's solid. He does big damage. You saw him counter there for 18k. Also, he helped us burn the Ruel revive at the beginning, which allowed us to kind of cycle through and stay alive because she'd already used her revive once. She couldn't use it on the Raz. Here, let me lock this. So he is at 244 speed. I didn't build him with any tankiness. I've got him at almost 4k attack, 100% crit rate, and 261 crit damage. I do have him on Dreamblade, so I want to talk about a couple alternative builds that we did test on stream. I did try him on Lifesteal. I wanted to know how he would perform on Lifesteal. Honestly, I really don't like it. It seems like a good idea on paper, but in order to get the stats you need to make him good, it's very, very difficult, and you just can't afford to give up that lifesteal gear. Give up the stats you would get in order to use the lifesteal gear. And to be completely honest, he's so squishy either way. Even if you try and build him tanky on lifesteal gear, he's going to be squishy, and if the enemy lands a hit, he's going to die either way. So having him on lifesteal gear doesn't really do you any good, because he's either going to get one shot or he's not. Most people don't try and work him down, otherwise they're proccing his passive. So odds are he's going to be better off on a speed set. Also, he has crazy good base speed. So taking advantage of his base speed is really important. He's got 116 base speed. So similar to Kayron, you'd put him on a speed set. For me, though, I decided to go on speed boots. So I could have gone on attack boots, and he would look a lot different. Let me actually show you, if you're going to run yours on attack boots, let me show you what the gear would look like if he was running attack boots. We'll go attack percent, speed set. So that's how he would look if he was on attack boots. He'd be at 200 speed, 275 crit damage with 4,500 attack. That would be a lot of damage. I have him geared this way specifically for my RTA team, but you can switch him up if you want to and make him do more damage. Having him do that much damage at 200 speed is still amazing. I just like him being in that 240 plus range. I would actually like him to be about 5 speed faster, but also you could try and run him bruiserish, but again, he's got such bad defense that odds are if he gets hit 5 times, either way, he's going to die. It's not going to keep him alive much longer, just because his defense is so low, and he'd still be one-shottable. So even if you got him to, say, 13k HP, it's really not going to do him much good. He's just not going to do any damage, and he'll still die. So I put a lot of time into testing different builds, and I feel like speed set and damage is the only way to go. the only real flexibility for him is whether you go speed boots or attack boots. And actually, somebody sent me a PM today asking how important immunity is on him. So I'm going to address that here, and then I will just send them the video. If you're going to run him at a first turn unit, so say 240-ish, 250, or if you're going to run him in a cleave, or anytime he's going to get first turn, you don't really need immunity. So for me, I didn't need immunity because he's fast. I'm never bringing him into a fight really where he's not getting first turn. But if I had him on the attack boots and he was 200 speed, then I would say you definitely need immunity because say you go into a fight with a Dizzy and she's got Violin, the Violin can, even if it misses, can strip the evasion. This evasion here. If this evasion gets stripped, he can't evade unless you get lucky and proc a Dreamblade proc. But you don't want him to strip this. So putting him on immunity means that when Dizzy does her whatever skill she uses into him, one, if she uses skill 3, he can't get debuffed because even with evasion, because she auto misses when she lands her debuffs anyway, she would land all 3 of those debuffs. But for any other unit that happens to have Violin, it means you have a 50% chance to strip evasion or a 50% chance to strip immunity. Of course, this only applies in RTA. I don't know which would get stripped first in Arena or Guild War, to be completely honest. But I still think immunity is pretty much mandatory. Finally, in terms of the artifact, I am running Dreamblade. There are a couple of options for him that we looked at. You could go Portrait if you wanted to increase damage, but honestly, the 50% evasion sucks. You're going to get landed on every single time. 50% evasion isn't enough. If you're counting on him living, like mine would have died a couple times over if I didn't have him on Dreamblade in that fight that you just watched. Another one that we looked at was Shepherds of Chaos. Cool artifact. If you were able to build him tanky, then this would be incredible. The problem is if he gets down this low, where this would start to take effect, he's gonna die anyway. So evasion and he has no defense first of all, so increasing defense is very minimal, and the evasion would be cool. But odds are, if he ever gets hit, say he's at 100% and somebody lands a crit on him, you're gonna be dead anyway. So increasing your evasion as health goes up, it's too late by then. So I really don't like that artifact on him. And the final option that I actually really like and prefer is Talisman. And Talisman's really interesting because it does go, if you have max level, it caps at 10%, which means that after 3 turns, he actually jumps up to 30% evasion, which is 10% better than Dreamblade, and it gives you increased attack, which is really nice because his passive, no, it's not his passive. It's his skill 3 gives him an attack buff. So you don't really need the Dreamblade attack buff, uh, but you would get increased attack plus attack buff. So Talisman technically does more damage. The problem with Talisman is after he's done his first turn, it brings him, mine's only at 8%. Say it's max level though for Talisman. It would be 10%. He takes first turn. That brings me up to 60% evasion, and I'm now still missing the 10% evasion from Dreamblade. And honestly, I feel like that makes a difference. There's a big gap between that 60 and 70%. I know it shouldn't be, but you know how you feel like when you're hitting into like a Vildred or a Kayron or somebody with Dreamblade, you know how it feels like it's like 50% chance to proc and it's not actually 20%? It still feels that way when you run it on him. It feels like it's higher than that extra 10% than it would be over Talisman. So I switched over to Dreamblade. I hate the fact that he's on Dreamblade. Maybe if I can get Talisman maxed out, um, I'll put that back on him because I would love the boosted damage from the attack buff, or not the attack buff, but the bonus attack. But that's the only thing that I might end up changing on him. I would like to make him just a tiny bit faster. But other than that, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. I hope this video helped. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We are getting really, really close to 2,500 subscribers. I really appreciate all the support. I hope everyone has a great day, and we will see you all next time. Bye for now, guys.